Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 260. Lamar, we have a special guest with us, sir.
Last month, we watched a movie, Crackhouse of the Dead, and we have the director here, Jason Toler. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. I'm here in Los Angeles right now, and we are doing pre-production on a slate of films for my company for 2025. So forgive me, I'm like right in the middle of meetings and the makeup test.
We'll get right into it then. Now, what got you started into just film and acting in general?
Okay. The long short story, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, in the height of the crack cocaine epidemic. I spent a lot of my times in movies, movie theaters, trying to basically stay out of trouble. Wasn't really much into sports too much. My brother and I spent plenty of Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and our weekends watching movies, specifically horror films. But as I got into high school, started to write more and kind of realized that filmmaking could actually be a career for me. So graduated and went to Columbia Film School in Chicago. Got my degree in business and film and started to work on movies there. I worked on everything from Barbershop to Save the Last Dance,
Nice.
Spider-Man, any movie that was coming into Chicago during that time frame, I was working on it. Did a play version of my film Half Moon. That was a stage play actually. Ended up optioning that script to a company that ended up going bankrupt.
Oh, wow.
They actually never made the film. So I got the rights back, and then I ended up using kind of some money I had saved up and making that my first movie. So that's the kind of 5-minute quick, synopsis of my career.
We watched Crackhouse of the Dead, and it was one of our favorites of the year. So what led to bringing together, I guess, House of the Dead and then all the other elements?
Yeah, you know what? So I was acting in Los Angeles, and I got cast in a pilot, and the pilot didn't make it to air. And I was sitting back going through the old Blockbuster video and Hollywood video and looking at a bunch of horror movies, and horror movies have always kind of been my saving grace. Yes, I've studied and watched all the highbrow French New Wave, film school stuff, but I really have a liking to the kind of old grindhouse style stuff. And I'm a huge Schlock fan. I like, Return of the Living Dead and Rawhead Rex and Curse to the Bite, kind of those kind of, mid 80s grindhouse, straight to VHS movies. And I just wanted to say, what would we do if we just made something like that? And the title came to me first.
Yeah, okay.
So it was like, all right, you always have these zombie films where it's a bunch of people in a house or a mall or someplace. The idea is that they're always, a ragtag bunch of people that under most circumstances wouldn't work together, wouldn't be together. The idea of the undercover cop and the pimp and the drug dealer and the crackhead, stuck in a house trying to, protect themselves on the first night of the zombie apocalypse. Pulled some resources together, made some phone calls, and all the gang came together, and we made a cool little zombie film.
Because I think, like, me and Lamar talked about it a bit in our review. It's like, with a lot of the B movies and stuff that we review, people lose the premise. They go off. What we liked about Crackhouse of the Dead, it was fun the whole way through. You utilized the premise to its fullest.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, let's be honest here. I'm not expecting to win the Oscars with this. This is definitely for the cult grindhouse midnight. We actually won Best Midnight Film at the Portland Film Festival.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
It's like if you're into this type of film, you'll get it, you'll understand it, you'll like it. If you're expecting something more than that, you're going to be very, very disappointed.
What was the hardest part of filming this? Because it seems like, you just had to kind of do it on your own, organize it, all that kind of stuff.
The hardest part of making this film, there were so many challenges across the board. First of all, getting permits. We shot in Los Angeles. As you can imagine, trying to find an abandoned house in Los Angeles that you can shoot at was next to near impossible. It's just I call it the luck of the film gods. That I had, we were on location scouting for months, and we happened to drive past this church, and the church had a house right next door. Unbeknownst to us, the church owned the house. So, so imagine trying to explain to the pastor of the church, hey, got this this little zombie movie I'm trying to put together. And I was expecting to get the hard no, but they guys were like, okay, cool. They looked at the script, they gave us, approval, but that was one of the major challenges of just finding a location. Like every filmmaker, you never have enough time or money. Things fall through with, extras and, actors and all types of things. But every major challenge you can imagine happened. And then we actually had a theatrical release. And the theatrical release happened right like after COVID. We were the first
Right.
horror film to be released kind of in theaters after COVID. So that was a bit challenging for us as well. But like all filmmakers, you're going to have challenges, you're going to have issues, you're going to have problems. It's just how you adjust and adapt to those problems, to get the film completed and out.
Talking about the challenges, I mean, the film industry has changed. It's the way people consume films has changed. The way people distribute films has changed. So, what are some of your top tips, maybe, for someone that's an independent filmmaker trying to break in or distribute?
First of all, I recommend any independent, low budget filmmaker to write to what you have access to. So whether it's an action film, a horror film, a drama, think about realistically who are the actors that you can rely upon, what is the location you rely upon, what realistically in your budget can you get, and write to that. That's the first thing. I commend any independent filmmaker that's able to get a movie done because I know how hard it is. And I encourage people to do it. If this is your passion, this is what you want to do, go ahead and just start someplace and then get the film done. The good news about distribution nowadays is you can get people to see your film and you don't really have to go through the proper channel, so to speak. You can release it on YouTube and get views and get people interested and get people buying it. So the distribution way of doing things that I was taught in film school 20 years ago is it's a whole new regime nowadays. As you're making your film or as you write your film, hopefully you're being smart enough to know who your audience is and know not only who your audience is, but where do they go to consume their content. If you're thinking high end of, yes, I'm going to go into theaters, I'm going to find some distributor and some producer that's able to kind of tailor this film towards this. But in my opinion, I think 90% of us and filmmakers are not in that position. We're doing our own independent projects and trying to figure out how to do our own self-distribution. So places like Film Hub are wonderful. Being able to get your film into Amazon or get your into Tubi are great. I'm not going to get into particulars of it, but you can make some pretty decent money. Definitely make your money back. By doing something independently and keeping the budgets tight and just marketing towards your specific audience, whatever you think that audience is. If it's a faith-based film, a horror film, action film, comedy, trying to go where those people are that are looking for those content and specifically pinpointing them.
When you came on, I saw under your like nameplate Horror Hub TV. What is that? Because you were just talking about distribution. Is that something that is that your company and how you distribute movies and everything like that?
Yeah, Horror Hub is a 24-hour live streaming television network. They're going to be launching in 2025. We're going to be doing some original programming for them specifically, so I'm really excited about that. It's kind of like they're going to have a window period on the network, and then they're going to go to all the other streaming platforms after that. So if you are a filmmaker and you're looking to showcase your film, they're definitely looking for projects. So you can follow them on. I think they're on Twitter under Horror Hub, and they're under Horror Hub under Instagram as well. My situation is a little bit different because I made a film and I sold the film to them. And then under that first one being sold, they were excited about that. So, okay, we want to do more projects with you. So I pitched to them a plethora of films that we might be doing in next year, and we're trying to gear up for those films.
Any of those films going to be a sequel to the Crackhouse of Dead? Because we would love to see a sequel.
Actually, I don't think so. Here's the deal. If you watch my films, Half Moon, for example, Crackhouse of the Dead, and the upcoming film Frankenstein Monster. Frankenstein Monster, we started production right before COVID and had to stop on that. So we're getting back into production on that in February.
Oh, wow.
So all of those films live in the same universe.
Okay.
So, like, if you watch Half Moon, the cop that arrested the lead character in Half Moon is the same cop that's in Crackhouse of the Dead. There's going to be a little Easter egg to one of the characters in Crackhouse of the Dead in Frankenstein Monster. So
Okay, right on. So you got a whole universe going on there.
yeah, just a little sprinkle for it.
Nice.
So you mentioned like it's like your own little universe. Is that like the new thing that I mean, of course we've seen it with Marvel and DCEU, just connecting things so you can just make sure that, people just keep on consuming your content? Is it just like trying to connect everything that you do together?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the goal is to, have people interested in the films.
Mhm.
You mentioned the sequel. We're currently working on the sequel to Half Moon, which is going to be a little bit different. We're taking more of an urban approach to that and bringing in some new characters and some new actors for that film. So we're excited about that. Sunrays International Films is my company. We do, mid-tier action films and horror films. So if you've watched some of my projects from Kill Plan to The Wrong Sarah to Amityville Cop, like we kind of focusing in on that specific brand, which has done really well for us at the moment.
Hmm.
But a lot of those projects will be connected in some capacity in hopes that people will enjoy them and want to watch all of them. You weren't aware that I was the writer and director of Half Moon. You watch, oh, this is pretty cool, and you're like, oh, I recognize that character in this other film. You see the connection of characters to actors to actors. So hopefully that's something that people are able to pick up on and they enjoy.
I mean, you've done zombies and werewolves, doing Frankenstein. What's another kind of genre that you like to mix in there, or another kind of creature? Or...
Again, I'm classic. I like the werewolves and the zombies, and one of my favorite films is Vamp with Grace Jones. So I like doing something that's kind of different, and obviously being a black man. It's not a lot of black guys who are producing these type of films. So I like to make sure there's a bit of diversity in some capacity. I like to be able to sprinkle a little bit of what would we do in these situations, or how would I've watched every horror film across the board, and the black guy usually dies first. So I try to either break that mold or make sure that everybody goes. I'm just a fan of the genres themselves. So there's not
Yeah.
one specific thing that I want to focus in on. I definitely am going to be looking into doing some more, so a vampire film in the future.
Okay.
So there's a couple of things that are kind of on the slate.
Well, I definitely suggest a time travel element to all
He's
of it.
always going to suggest
Nice.
time travel because I'm not the biggest fan.
Lamar
I don't
doesn't like
hate
time travel.
Time travel. It's not my favorite thing. It's just
Okay.
move forward. That's my thing. That's all of my thing. So
Understood. Well, I will definitely talk to you when I have that time travel movie out. I've kicked around those ideas, and to your point, I think I have a great idea for a time travel film. And I think once we move into that direction, I'll definitely reach out to you, let you guys know about it.
Oh, that'd be great.
see, and Joe is happy. Okay, since you said it, I will also be open to it as well. So that's
Great,
cool.
great.
Well, I mean, we don't want to keep you or anything like that because you're on set right now. But how can people, contact you and everything like that?
Oh,
Get in touch
absolutely.
with you. Yeah.
First of all, again, thank you guys for having me, and for the fans of the films that I do. Thank you so much for watching. Even if you don't like them, thank you for watching them and just giving your opinion in some capacity. I do appreciate it. As filmmakers, that's how we get better. That's how we get feedback. I'm on all social media under Jason Made Films. So Jason and then Made, Made, and then Films, Jason Made Films. You can go to the website, which is sunraysfilms.com. So that's SUNRAYZ films.com. And again, I'm going to continue to produce and write these type of films. Again, thank you guys for just being there and being supportive of it. As an independent filmmaker, it means the world that people are watching and supporting, even if they don't like it, But the fact that you guys watched it, liked it, and recommended it means the world to me.
Thank you, man. Yeah, and Crackhouse of the Dead is on Amazon right now.
Yes,
That's
Amazon
where we saw
Prime.
it.
You can watch it right now on Amazon Prime. It will also be coming to Horror Hub TV in 2025, so you can download that. You can check out the beta for horrorhub.tv right now. It's on Roku, I believe.
Okay.
It's free at the moment. It's under free beta for the next 30 days. So there's some films that you can watch there and stream, and then it'll turn into a small base subscription based platform in 2025. So you guys will, if you're into really grindhouse kind of cult, blood, gore, nudity, those type of films, the stuff that you wouldn't see on Shudder but you should see on Shudder, you'll be able to find it on horrorhub.tv. So
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you guys so much. Take care.
Peace.
Thanks, man. Peace.